everyone, and welcome to the Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight, where we put the spotlight on inspiring business owners. We learn their stories, and they're going to share with us what drives their success. This episode is sponsored by Credit Bank, where you can get up to $500,000 in working capital with monthly payments in less time than it takes you to drive to the bank. I'm your host, Irv Cruz, and today I am joined by Rob Tracz. He's the founder and CEO of Tracz Training. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, Irv, thank you for having me. I'm excited to kind of dive in, share a little bit about my experiences and insights, and have some good conversation with you.
Yeah, we want to hear it all, Rob. We want to hear it all. So just sit back, relax, let's have a little fun. And I want you to take me to the very beginning. How did it all start? What caused you, or what was going on in your life that gave you the idea to start Tracz Training?
Yeah, really, I think it was right out of college. I was doing an internship. I was in a private strength and conditioning facility. And let me take a step back from there even further, actually. I've always been in like a leadership type of role through all the different sports teams that I've played with and rec and competitive everywhere. I hold myself to a certain standard and I hold my team to a certain standard. And I think that's helped me bring a lot of success in the different sports and things that I'm a part of. So fast forward to that internship, and I was busting it super hard, working long hours, mopping the floors multiple times a day kind of thing. And as soon as the internship went from unpaid to now a paid salary, I lost all drive and motivation. And I had to take a step back and I said, this isn't me. This is not what I want to be doing. And then I realized that I need to get into a position or some kind of industry or field where I make and I eat what I kill kind of thing. And that motivated me to get into a little bit of the entrepreneurial world. And from there, I shifted gears to another place, and I had that freedom of my schedule. I could take on as many clients as I wanted to. And I quickly built that book of business up to where I was working 15 hours a day again. And at that point I realized, hey, I don't have any more time in the day. I need to find a way to continue to make more income with the time that I do have available. And then forced me to get a little creative with a couple different things. And then from there, it was just one little project into another, which evolved and grew. And boom, now I'm speaking, coaching different things, running workshops, and still doing a lot of different little tips and tricks with my business. But it started from that one initial stage.
So tell us about Tracz Training. What exactly is Tracz Training?
Yeah, Tracz Training, that's really where things kind of started for me. So as my background was in strength and conditioning, working with a lot of athletes, personal training, the first pivot for me to start to make more income was to start a dietary supplement line. So I was personal training, I was doing strength and conditioning with athletes, and then I started with just vanilla protein because I guess I'm a vanilla kind of guy.
Right.
And so I saved up and I did some of my research on the manufacturers, found a site that really used the ingredients that I wanted to use to deliver a good quality product. And I made vanilla, and it was kind of slow at first. But then eventually, once I had enough sales, I made some chocolate protein. And then all of a sudden it starts booming because I guess more people enjoyed the chocolate. And from there, it became multivitamins and like creatine and a whole bunch of different things. And I think I'm up to like 32 products now.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then as time kind of evolved and grew, so too did my coaching. So then as I started to step away from the strength and conditioning and the gym world, I got into more personal development. I got into more business development. I began speaking, running workshops, teaching leadership, one-on-one communication, conflict resolution. And really now, as my company continues to grow and evolve, so too do the products and services that I offer to individuals.
And what did you do to market yourself, to get your name out there and do it in such a way that differentiates yourself from others in the space?
Yeah, I had to do a lot of internal reflection. So when I had hit that one time period where I was working 15-hour days, 7 days a week for 3 years in a row, I had to realize that some things needed to change. So I paid a little bit of attention to what's worked for me in the past. And then I found that really awareness and taking a bigger picture and looking at things through different lenses really was my differentiator as a coach and as like a comrade for a lot of my clients. So when I step into or step on to a coaching call with individuals, I give them different lenses to look things through. I give them some tips and tricks and strategies on how I might handle things. And then we run through a couple exercises to help them kind of hammer down what helps them the most.
Right.
And I think it's that little bit of awareness factor which really helped separate me. And then just being a great communicator or trying to be a great communicator has really helped me connect with a lot of individuals, relate to a lot of people, which made word of mouth and testimonials such an easy thing for me to help grow my business.
And I know when you're first starting out, it could be tough to secure financing to launch your dream. How did you manage that early on?
In the beginning, it was what do they call it? Bootstrapping. It was
Yes.
it's just
Yes.
bare minimums and very slow grind. As you heard in the beginning there, when I took the route of starting the dietary supplements, I had to do my research. I could only afford to start with vanilla protein in the beginning
Right.
because I had saved up a little bit and then I made that investment. And then eventually, when I had enough sales, I branched into chocolate, which then led to like cookies and cream and salted caramel and then the greens, energy drinks and stuff like that. And so it was a slow bootstrapping. And I think there are a lot of easier ways to kind of get to there at a quicker rate. But I took the long scenic route, I guess.
Okay. And given that you shared taking the long scenic route, I'm sure you've met, a few hurdles or challenges along the way. So what would you say is your or was your biggest hurdle, and how did you overcome it?
I think the biggest hurdle really eventually became one of my strengths.
Hmm.
So I'm an adversity drive. So I really get motivated and driven by challenge. So I like to take on different challenges and I like to go and execute and I like to win. I also like to do it with others. And the flip side of that though is the lack of patience. So taking the scenic route slowed things down drastically for me. So I wasn't moving and growing quite at the pace that I would have liked to. But that really taught me patience, taught me how to slow things down, how to connect with others so that if they're not going at the rate that I expect them or see them to, it allows me to kind of take a step back, take a breath, and reassess the situation. So really that hurdle for me in the beginning was that time. I wanted to get to X, Y, and Z, but I had to go all the way through A through Y or whatever first, which was a little frustrating in the beginning.
Did you have moments where you felt like your patience was kind of waning, and you're like, I've been kind of plugging away at this for a while, and I want to see this happen now, and it's not happening. So how did you deal with that?
There's a lot of reflection, kind of checking in with my social team. So checking in with mentors, checking in with like the captains on my team, my good buddies. Everybody else is kind of going through business at different rates and speeds. So I would check in with myself, making sure that I had my numbers pretty on par. So when I
Right.
was hitting my milestones and my check marks, making sure that I'm doing the things that I can at the comfortable pace that I am, and then just reassuring myself, like, okay, it is getting better. There is a change. There is some progress coming. Because there were plenty of times where I'm just like, man, what am I doing? Am I making impact? Am I helping anybody? Is
Yeah, I
any
can
of
see
this
where the
even
mind
worth
would
it?
go there. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you had a good support system in place. So that's something, obviously to be very, very grateful for. How long has TAPS training been in existence?
Since January of 2017.
Okay.
So pretty decent amount of time here.
So what would you say is your absolute greatest achievement or biggest accomplishment thus far?
Thus far, I think it would be just looking back at all the individuals that I've kind of impacted and touched base with. I've worked with a lot of people who back in the fitness days of just looking to lose a little bit of weight and trying to kind of eat a little bit healthier.
Mhm.
So now I'm helping people who are stuck in dead end jobs, kind of changing career paths, really helping them lay the groundwork and setting out the path or mapping out the path for them to get to whatever they're trying to achieve. I'm working with a couple different authors, like coming out with their first books, working with people starting new careers in different industries. And it's really rewarding to me. So seeing the hundreds of people that I've been in contact with and being able to help, and now kind of pivoting even further into the speaking and workshops onto a bigger scale is just, it's super rewarding to me, and it inspires me. And again, like I said before, I'm a diversity drive, so I love the challenge. It continues to motivate me, and it's just like never ending, perpetuating, boom, 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 kind of growing and moving.
You're constantly evolving. That's great. You've actually diversified your offerings, it seems, and that's another thing that can fuel your passion to take not only your business but even yourself personally to the next level, whatever you determine that next level to be in your own mind. Where do you see your business in the next, say, 2 years?
Next 2 years, making a considerate shift away from just the in-person kind of coaching, sitting down with individuals, and getting more into the groups and those workshops that I was hinting at before. Breaking into eventually weekend retreats and larger seminars and conferences. The past year or so, I've spoken four or five conferences, and I think the biggest audience that I've spoken in front of so far was about 450 individuals. So I think if I can continue to grow and scale and make bigger impact to bigger audiences, it's going to be more fun for me, and I feel like everyone else is going to benefit from the different experiences and stories I can share.
If there was one thing that you could change, assuming that you had the proper resources and support in place, which it does seem like you have a great support system behind you, but having the proper resources, what's that one thing that you would change for your business, like immediately, like tomorrow?
Yeah, I think probably just kind of optimizing some systems and processes right now. Like, I'm doing a lot of the work. I do have a small team of assistants that are helping me with the social media, with the production of my podcast, and a lot of the other onboarding type things. I think being able to kind of put a little bit more effort into smoothing out some of the wrinkles in some of those systems would really change things a little bit for me.
Rob, it has been absolutely fantastic learning about TAP's training, your journey, your trajectory. I think it's really, really inspiring. For those that want to connect with you, how would they find you?
Yeah, the easiest place to find me is social media. Typically hanging out on LinkedIn and Instagram the most. And you can just find me by searching the name Rob Tracy. Both platforms should be pretty easy.
So I pronounced it wrong. Tracy.
Yeah, it's kind of up in the air. My father never really told me how to correctly pronunciate it, but he was like, just however you want to. He's like, this is what I say, so go for it. So I don't even know for sure how to exactly say it. It was one of those names that got shortened at Ellis Island.
Oh, well, my apologies. I should have gotten that squared away with you before we actually came on, because I saw Tracz and I said Rob Tracz, and you should have corrected me, but it's okay. At least we got it right this time. Rob, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your stories. And to our listeners, if you've enjoyed this episode, be sure to tune in and subscribe for more inspiring spotlights. Once again, I'm your host, Irv Cruz. Until next time, we'll see you on the next Credit Bank Small Business Spotlight. Rob, thank you so much. Wish you great success in your business.
Thank you. This was my pleasure.
If you enjoyed this video, click here to watch another exciting episode.